Welcome to Sleep Story of Legends, where we bring you immersive, cinematic bedtime stories from across the realms of fiction. Whether you're a fan of Star Wars, fantasy, or ancient myths, our tales are crafted to transport you to another world before you drift off into peaceful slumber. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what stories you'd love to hear next. Now, settle in, close your eyes, and let the darkness of the galaxy surround you as we dive into tonight's tale. The First Night of Darth Vader. Darkness. Not the darkness of space, vast and endless. Not the darkness of a cave, cool and quiet. This darkness was suffocating, heavy. It wrapped itself around him like the weight of 1,000 gravestones, pressing him deeper into the cold metal beneath him. He was awake, but he wished he wasn't. The rhythmic hiss of his breathing filled the chamber, artificial, relentless, foreign. Each inhale scraped against his mind, a reminder that he was no longer a Jedi, no longer a man of flesh and freedom. Now, he was something else, something made, something broken. Darth Vader. He had not chosen that name. It had been given to him, bestowed by his master. Sidious had spoken it like a father naming his child, as if the name itself had meaning. But what meaning was there in it? Was it power? Was it purpose? Or was it just another chain? Another collar around his throat? The weight of the armor pressed against his body, metal grafted to ruined flesh. He had felt pain before, but never like this. Never this deep. It did not burn. It lingered, a dull and endless ache. The machine he had become kept him alive, but it did not ease his suffering. It merely prolonged it. And so, Darth Vader lay in his chamber, his new body stiff and unfamiliar. And for the first time since Mustafar, he tried to sleep, but sleep did not come. Instead, memories did. He had once dreamed of sand and sun, of flying through the endless sky, of a voice calling his name, a mother's voice, gentle hands against his cheek, whispering comfort into his ear. But those days were gone. Instead, his mind twisted, dragging him to a battlefield of fire and betrayal. Obi-Wan Kenobi. The name slithered through his mind like a whisper in the dark, filling him with something colder than anger. There had been a time, long ago, when Obi-Wan had been everything to him. A teacher, a mentor, a brother. More than that, family. And now, his fist clenched, the servos in his gauntlet whining at the force of his grip. Obi-Wan had betrayed him. He had left him to burn, had stolen everything from him. It had been his fault. If only he had understood. If only he had listened. If only he had not been so weak. And yet, beneath the anger, beneath the hate, there was something else. Something smaller. A whisper. A question. Had he been the betrayer? No. It had not been his fault. He had done what he had to do. He had tried to save her. He had fought for her. He had destroyed the Jedi for her. His wife. Her name burned through him like a blade, sharper than any lightsaber. He had wanted to save her. He had promised to save her. And yet, she was gone. Sidious had told him. The Emperor had said she was dead because of him. No, Vader whispered. His own voice startled him. Deeper, distorted by the vocoder. It was not his voice. It was something else's. He had done everything for her. He had given up everything for her. And she had died anyway. Pain. It was different from the pain of his body. It did not cut his flesh or burn his nerves. This pain sat deeper, where his heart had once been. She was supposed to be here, by his side. She was supposed to rule with him. He had seen it in his visions, in his dreams. They had been meant to be together, but she was dead. And the child she had carried, the child that had been his, a child that would never be born, never take their first breath, never know their father. A deep, empty silence settled inside him. He had lost before, his mother, his master, his hand. But this was something else. This was the last thing that had made him the old him. And now, there was nothing left. The hours stretched on, but Vader did not move. The silence of the chamber was filled only with the rhythmic pull of his respirator. There was no rest. There was no sleep. Only the past, playing over and over again in his mind. A wound that would never close. Somewhere, in the depths of his consciousness, a voice spoke. A voice from a life that no longer existed. Let go, but he was dead. And Darth Vader remained. For hours, Vader remained in this restless state, his mind tormented by the past. The sensation of Mustafar's heat, the sting of Obi-Wan's words, the aching echo of Padme's last breath. His memories circled like vultures, feeding on what was left of him. And yet, sleep never came. It never would. Perhaps, he thought, that was part of his punishment. And then, the future began to take shape in his mind. Sidious had given him purpose. The Jedi were gone, their temples in ruin, their order crushed. But there were still remnants. There were still those who had fled. Vader clenched his fists. He would find them. He would burn away the last traces of their kind. They had taken everything from him. His limbs, his wife, his child. The Jedi had been the ones to turn her against him. They had poisoned her mind, made her weak. He would see their legacy reduced to ashes. And Obi-Wan. Vader's breath quickened. His master had told him that Obi-Wan was dead. But he knew that wasn't true. Obi-Wan had survived. He had fled like a coward, leaving his former apprentice to die. But he was out there, somewhere in the vast reaches of the galaxy. And Vader would not rest until he found him, until he ended him. The darkness within him surged, filling the emptiness. He would become stronger. He would become the monster that the galaxy feared. No more hesitation. No more mercy. The last of him would be purged, and in his place, only Darth Vader would remain. Yes, he would hunt. He would destroy. He would forge a new path, one carved in fire and blood. And then, perhaps, he would know peace. Thank you for listening to Sleep's Story of Legends. If you enjoyed tonight's tale, be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what other stories you'd love to hear. Until next time, may your dreams take you to galaxies far, far away.